G'day scrubbers, just going out and doing a couple of pickups today and thought I'd take you along for the ride. So what I've got is a residential pickup, so that should be only a little one, and then I'm heading off to do a little school. So hopefully the school will be a pretty good pickup to keep me in some scrap for a little bit. So I'm just heading off to this residential place, if I can find it. I'll get this stuff and then see if we can go and get some really good stuff. These you know, residential places, you just don't know what you're going to run into, but this looks like a pretty nice little area. So, and I think that red car is where I'm meant to be picking it up from. Okay, let's go and do it. All right, what do we got? Okay, some goodies. Got an iMac keyboard. Just what I needed, a vacuum cleaner. Oh well, it's a Dyson. Okay. Well, that was nice and convenient and quick. It's nice when the people leave it out ready to go, so I don't have to knock on the door or anything like that, and I can just pick up 2 minutes and just get out of there. So let's go to our school now. Okay, well, I'm here at the school, and here we go. Here's my eWaste, all nicely packed for me. It looks like it's all PCs today. Okay. Let's do this. Wow. IBMs. Check them out. Wow. All right. Well, that's a nice pickup, isn't it? Just PCs. The UPS. All right, let's get busy. Wow. Go inside and see if I can find the teachers. Oh, wow. Well, all the PCs are in. Got a nice server, some UPSs. Usually I have to pack the front seat with heavy stuff, more UPSs and PCs, just to balance out the weight. A whole bunch of monitors here, and I'm just waiting for some more to come. Wow. It's I'm just making a start first thing in the morning, so this is a good workout. Alright, I don't know how many PCs are there, but looks like there's at least 50, and at least 50 monitors, maybe more. We'll see. We'll see when we get back. Wow, man, that was a pretty huge pickup, and I am absolutely chockers. I can't fit another thing in there. We squeezed in every keyboard that we could fit. There is, you know, right up to the top of the roof. Geez. Because it's quite far away from my workshop, I couldn't do a second pickup because, yeah, so I had to squeeze it all in as much as I could get in. Believe it or not, I've got another pickup with the same school but in a different campus next week, or it might be after New Year. Hopefully it's after New Year. But wow, I've got to get this back. I'm actually overloaded right now. My back wheels are one of the back wheels are quite flat, so there's a real lot of weight on the back. So I try to put as much weight up front, but there was about 60 monitors, so I've got a really slow drive on the way back. I'm going to really take it easy because I don't want my back wheel to the tire to pop, because I reckon it's very close to popping. I just remembered, even though I'm overloaded and I really want to get this stuff back to the workshop, I've got somewhere else to stop off while I'm out this side of town. I've got to pick up a crucible for my new furnace that's coming. So, oh well, I'll go and check out this place that sells furnace accessories and crucibles, and hopefully, I'm really familiar with this area because most of my pickups are actually in this area. So here's what I do when I'm in an area where there's a lot of industrial and stuff. What I do is I stop and I start dropping off my flyers in letterboxes, right? Because this is where I do pick up the odd client, is just by random dropping off flyers. But anyway, well, okay. Well, that's mission number 3 all done. So I've done my little residential pickup, I've done my big school pickup, and I've gone and picked up a crucible. Look at the size of this bastard, hey? That's a salamander A10, 10 kilogram. Wow, that's huge. So that's for my new furnace that's coming. Also got myself some nice tongs. I'm going to have to custom design those tongs to sort of suit, but yeah, wow. All right, now I feel like I've really achieved something. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I've got all my e-waste. I've been looking forward to getting this salamander crucible for a while. That's a lot bigger than they look online. Wow, I'll be able to have a bath in that. Probably a little bit more than I expected to pay, including tax. This was $120, but the salamander is the best kind of crucible. Well, just about the best. There is high melt, but I don't really need high melt. All right, now let's finally get back. Look at that nice McDonald's. Don't make McDonald's like that in my side of town. They look like bloody industrial complexes. Yeah, nice and green, beautiful. When I'm out and about picking up e-waste, I try and make the most of it, and get a bit of view. And like I said, I drop off flyers. I dropped off to that big business there. Hopefully they give me a call. I dropped off here. I put one of my flyers in BMW. Imagine getting a company like BMW to pick up e-waste from. Well, you're not going to know until you try, and it just might be the right time when, the right time, the right place, the right person picks up your flyer and says, oh, okay, free e-waste recycling. All right, we'll go with these guys and see how we go. So, it pays. I think I dropped off about 30 flyers. So, since I'm here in the area, that's 30 more opportunities where the possibility that through the new year, someone will give me a call and say, hey, yeah, we've got a whole bunch of e-waste too. All right, now, I'm really hoping that my tires don't blow out, because it's going to be really expensive to get my van towed from this side of town. Not looking forward to that. So I'm just going to take it really easy, and hopefully no one notices the arse end scraping along the ground. Yeah, I was just thinking on the way back here, even though I've got a van chock-a-block full of e-waste, about the biggest load I've ever kind of gotten in one pickup anyway, I'm more excited about my salamander crucible. I just can't get over how big it is. Like that. So you're probably wondering, why would I need a 10 kilogram salamander crucible? Well, it's not really that I'm going to be melting like 10 kilos of copper at one time. The reason why I need the space is so I can fit the large pieces, so I don't have to cut up pieces of copper to put into the crucible. So I might only have 4 kilos of copper in this at any one time, but I just need the volume before it melts to actually go in there. And then once it melts, it's only going to be like a quarter of the, or a third of the actual volume. So yeah, that's the only reason why I need bigger ones. So, and even like if you're melting like aluminium heat sinks, I don't want to be cutting up heat sinks to melt, so I just want to be throwing them in nice and easy. So yeah, that's the reason why it's such a big crucible. But it's the first one I've bought like this, and maybe the next one I might go for an 8 kilo, just a little bit smaller, but I wanted to get the 10 kilo just to see how it fits into the furnace when it finally arrives. All right, so yeah, I'm just on the way back. I'm not even thinking about all this e-waste. I'm just thinking about my beautiful 10 kilo crucible. Exciting times. Well, I'm back, guys. Phew. Glad that's well, I made it back safe, so that's the main thing. As you can see, my back wheel, it's right down. And look at the tire, it's almost right down flat. So I'm really can't wait to get some of that weight off the back there. The front wasn't too bad, but yeah, because I start loading the front of the van with all the heavy stuff, but in this case had more monitors than I expected, so they really did put a bit of pressure on. And like even the front seat, I had the window open, I was squeezing keyboards into the into the front seat there, and what I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 PCs here, and 2 really heavy little UPSs, keyboards, a couple of monitors, just in the front seat there. If I don't do that, then it's a big problem later on. Like if I put all the PCs into the van, and then later, it wouldn't be very good to put monitors in there, because that'd be really messy. So try and get, because over the other side, obviously I sit on the other side, so it balances out. If I can put equal weight to me on this side, it's just like having another passenger, and it just balances out the weight, but also gives me more room. So that's about the heaviest it looks that I've ever kind of picked up. Like normally, if I knew it was going to be this much, I still would have done it in the van, but normally when they're really big pickups, if it was a bit bigger than this, I would have hired a truck. That's what I prefer to do. That way there's no stress on my van, and it's much more safer, but it's just pretty much just one straight road all the way back home. So that's something I really need. I need something a bit bigger, like a little truck with a tailgate on the back that I can load and unload things, especially scrap metal. Hopefully through the year, I might be able to, I might go around and look for a second-hand truck and see how we go. But yeah, she's chockers. Like after we put in pretty much everything that we could fit, had boxes of keyboards and cables. We were just squeezing it into wherever it can go, and surprised I even got this printer in there, because we were right at the end of it, and I thought, I'm not going to get this printer in, maybe I should leave it, but then yeah, got that in there too. Obviously I don't want to go and do 2 pickups, because this place was quite, about 40 minutes drive, so it's a little bit too far to go and do 2 pickups, but it wouldn't have bothered me if I had to do 2 pickups. But yeah, I just managed to squeeze it all in, and I'm looking forward to the next one that I'm doing from this school, another branch of this school, and then there's a 3rd school that the technician was telling me about. He's just picked up a new school that he's working at, and he reckons that this school has got really old stockpile of PCs, so all the white ones, the old IBMs and all that sort of thing. So looking forward to that one too. He said there's a lot of Macs, a lot of Mac 2s, so yeah, really looking forward to that pickup. That'll be into the new year, but this is going to certainly keep me busy. I was actually running out of stock, scrap to scrap. Really got nothing. All I've got here is 3 PCs and 2 microwaves, so that's all I had left anymore. I don't really go chasing it. I'm only servicing my existing clients, so yeah, so there's no shortage of e-waste out there. So if people are still looking, wanting to know where to get scrap, just all small businesses, everyone, they all get stockpiles of e-waste that they want to get rid of, so there's no shortage of e-waste out there. It's just there's a shortage of people willing to go out there and pick up, because all right, you're not going to get full van like this every time you go out. You might pick up 4 PCs and a printer and a couple of monitors, but you've got to be in it to win it. So and yeah, because I'm slowing down, so it's even more opportunity for, well, at least people in Melbourne, if they're looking to get a bit of self-employment. And look, you're not going to make millions of dollars. I mean, if you pick up one of these kind of jobs every day, sure, you're going to make pretty good money. But as the problem is that I've already it's already half a day gone, and I haven't even unloaded the van yet. And we still got to scrap this. So 1 day pickup might take 1 week scrapping. So if you're picking up loads like this every day, or even every second day, you're going to be inundated with scrap. So you either have to employ someone to help you scrap it, or a bit like me, where you're just going to have to eventually just slow down and say, okay, I'm not going to advertise anymore. I think I've got enough clients to keep me going. And then just make do during those times when it's a bit quiet. Like for me, because I'm doing it a bit of a hobby, so in winter time, I don't really have to push for much e-waste, but I also enjoy going around looking for scrap on the streets, in hard rubbish and that. So that's the time when I'm doing that, and that's what I want to do more of, because again, I'm more looking at hobby style rather than going hard and trying to make money on a day-to-day basis. It's a lot of work and wear and tear on your body, and sort of because I've always had quite difficult jobs. Not always, I used to be a security guard, so I was a guard for about 10 years, so I certainly didn't do much heavy lifting then, but scrapping after about 5 years or so, you've got to either slow down or go into other things. That's why I'm going into buying e-waste now, like circuit boards, motherboards and all that, because then I don't have to go out and look for PCs. I don't have to scrap them out and don't have to deal with the scrap steel and all that in the end. I just want to service a whole lot of other smaller scrappers that are doing this, and I just buy their e-waste, and that's kind of where I'm trying to head now, just being an e-waste buyer. That's where I'm kind of heading with scrap. So it's the buying and the eventual stockpiling and gold recovery, rather than just hard scrapping. I prefer to hard scrap just for a hobby now, rather than trying to pay the bills all the time with scrapping, because as I said, wear and tear on your hands, on your arms, and especially my back's not very good. if I can get this open, it's going to, a whole bunch is going to tip out, because what we ended up having to do, I was dragging out cables and keyboards and just sort of squished them into the back. So I know it's going to all tumble out, but we'll give it a go. Okay. I know. Well, only lost one keyboard. How's that? It's all sort of compacted in. So all this in the back here is the unexpected monitors. When you see me drive up to into the school, all I saw was just PCs, and I thought, oh, this is going to be great. It's just going to be PCs. I'm going to load them up and go. But yeah, I didn't know that there was a ton of monitors and keyboards and cables still to go. So here we go. I'm going to slowly drag this out and just give you a little bit of a look at what I picked up today. It's pretty straightforward, just PCs, monitors and keyboards. But it'd be interesting to see the different types. I think there's about 3 types of PCs. So I just wanted to see, have a bit of a count of what I picked up for the day. But so the logical thing is to just pull everything out and stack it all up and slowly get to it as I go. But I try and do it a little bit differently now. I'm not in any rush to unload the van like I used to be, because I'd have another pickup straight after and I had to get ready. And so this is how I like to do it now, is instead of just dragging everything out and stacking it, at least semi-process it just to make it a little bit easier. So like keyboards, the keyboards are going to be scrapped out and processed anyway, all right? Because these are IBM ones, I'll probably keep a couple just for myself. But now I just prefer to cut the cords and I'll stack up keyboards, and that way at least then it's, you know, the process has already started, you know, and I'm not tangled up with a whole heap of cords. Yeah, so part of this whole hobby exercise now is to try and enjoy every aspect of it. So obviously when I'm picking up, there's no time to enjoy it. You just got to load up, you know. I want to load up as quick as I can, so I just get out of their face and I can go on about my business. But you know, so when I get to this point now, I want to have a bit of fun. So there's no rush, so I'm just going to slowly drag things out. It might take me 3 hours, 4 hours. It doesn't really matter. There's no rush. I'll have lunch in between, and I'll just do that. Cut some cords, and even the monitors, right? So as you can see, it's all tangled up once you start pulling them out. So I'll take off all the cords of the monitors, and that way I can put them straight into a cage that I've got ready and be done with them, rather than just double handling and putting them all out just to unload the van, then having to cut the cords and all that later on. So I prefer to just do it nice and slowly as I go, cut some cords, any power supplies that I see, obviously I'll put them aside because they're all going to be matched up with items in here that might be sellable. But other than that, I'll be just cutting cords as I go. Well, I'm getting there, nice and slowly. I've gotten all the monitors out, and most of the keyboards. I've still got some in the front seat. But with the cables, this pile of cable here, it's stretched out about 15 foot long, and this is just how I was dragging it out of the building, because there's no way I'm going to you know, untangle all this. So it was all on the floor, and I just sort of grabbed one end and just dragged all the way out the building to straight to the van. And unfortunately that's, you know, that's just how it goes, because, you know, as they're throwing it into a box or whatever, and it's just all tangled up. So it's a very common thing to get tangled. Well, I've finally got to the the first pickup, remember that Dyson that I got and the iMac? I got a box of stuff here. I'm not really sure what these are, but that's just the residential stuff. Sometimes you can get good stuff, like, see, you know, this is what I like about residential stuff, because you know, you do get things that you can use in your own home, you know. And speakers, yeah, so interesting to go through all these little bags of collections. There'll probably be cell phones and you know, that kind of stuff. That was interesting. This is the second one I've got of these, and I put the one I originally got away. I never got to show you, but these are keys you see, and you can certainly see that in real big numbers and that. So I'm going to keep these because well, you never know, they might come in handy later on when I get old and I can't see very well anymore. Save me using glasses, I'll say, oh yeah, there we go, QWERTY. So yeah, really funny, just really bizarre. And even if I don't use them, I just want to keep them, just because you just don't see these very often, you know. I'm sure that they're around, but it's only the second one I've ever seen. So, oh, another iMac. I've got a few of these in the shed at the moment. I kind of always hold off scrapping them out because, you know, they're a bit of a pain to scrap, and but you know, I'll probably just end up keeping a few as well as G5s, because I don't really want to scrap them out and I kind of like them. So keyboards, as you know, useless. So that was mostly from the residential. Got some laptops, and yeah, so I'm just going to finish off doing these cables and all that, and picking out any good power supply units before I start taking out the PCs. It's just getting a bit hot, and I took my pants off and put my shorts on, and now I've taken my top off, and I'm half naked out here because I'm really hot. But I'm enjoying it. It's fun. There's the keyboard so far. Looks like there's about 45 keyboards or so there. 50. A lot of mice that, you know, I've already cut the cords, as I said. It's just a lot easier to handle now. So all the cords that I've removed off the monitors and stuff and all this, now I can just send this straight to processing. You know, seem to get a lot of these laptop, what are they called, you know, base stations or whatever they are. Yeah, get a lot of these, but I tend to keep the IBM ones because I noticed that there's a few IBM laptops in there, and I like to match them up with these things. So I'll keep these. You know, they all come with keys, so no reason why they won't work. And there's me. These are all the power supply units that I like to keep. So these power supplies are probably from the obviously the IBM laptops. So I like to keep these original IBM power supplies. I've already got quite a few of them, but I'll just, you know, I won't, I'll keep keeping them until they just start overflowing. But anyway, monitors. Well, I didn't realize there was so many monitors in the back end. If you notice, we've only taken about a meter of space out of the back, just from the wheel arches back, and that was all just monitors. And that's what I thought I was going to get. And the monitors certainly put a lot of weight onto the arse end of it. But check this out, 80 monitors. Right, so we've got mixture here of Diamond Digital, Dells and IBMs. Not many, but all these Aces are all identical. And look at that. 80 monitors. Gosh, that's a lot for me to handle in one day, because, you know, I don't sort of send these off anywhere. I, you know, recycle these myself, because I like to make sure that they're properly recycled. The plastic goes to the plastic, The screens go to a proper LCD recycler, and well, obviously all I get is a couple of circuit boards and the finger strip board, a bit of copper, and, a whole row of them. So if anyone needs a monitor in the next couple of days before it starts raining, you can come and pick them up. But you know, obviously they're not the size that people want anymore. These are only what, 15 inch or something. You know, people want the big ones now. All right, well, I'll just start cleaning up this cable now, remove the last of this back stuff, and then we'll start getting into the actual PC towers, and I'll find somewhere to stack them up because they're not going in the driveway now. Yeah, but it's a I don't know, you know, I just find joy out of the simple things in life, you know. And so obviously, you know, that monitors don't have much scrap value, so it's certainly not about the money. You barely get $1 worth of scrap, not even, out of a monitor. But you know, I just enjoy this row. You know, it must be a OCD kind of thing, you know, obsessive compulsive disorder, where it's all got to be lined up perfectly, you know, and it's all straight. You know, that's just me. You know, it's just something that sort of stimulates my brain, I guess. All right, leave it with me, and I'll clean up some of this mess, and we'll get a real good look at what we got. Okay, we're all done here now. That was fun. Geez, it's really hard to believe that all of this stuff came in just one van, and from one pickup. Yeah, a bit tired now. So probably my favorite score out of this pickup are these IBM System X 3200s. I like these servers. So, you know, it's surprising that so many servers came out of one place, but I do know it was a big upgrade. So I ended up 3, 6, 9, 11 System X 3200s. So I'm really happy with that. Dual core Pentium. Yeah, well, that's a different one. There's a few of these with the dual core, and the rest are with the Xeon. So they'll be good. I want to really check these out and see what's inside, and you know, I might even test a few out and see if I can, you know, might keep a couple for myself. Got a nice Dell, also the Xeon. It's a really nice server. Oh yeah, the PowerEdge T610. So that one there I'll put into the workshop, and I'll check it out. Might be a good one, that one. So yeah, 12 servers, and then mostly Aces, the Acer Veriton. So you know, they're okay, good for scrap anyway, but a lot of them. So what do we get? There's 14 per row. It's 42, 4, 46, 48, 50, 56 Aces, and also got some HPs, Core 2 Duo, Windows Vista, nothing much. Got 14 of them, and just the solitary one Lenovo ThinkCentre with the AMD. So yeah, got some UPSs, got some nice Dell UPSs here. Them ones. Got about a dozen laptops. Some of them are good. This Dell is quite nice actually. Intel Centrino Dell Latitude. Got obviously the Lenovo ThinkPads. Another Dell, IBM ThinkPads, which are the ones I like to sort of keep. Toshiba, another Dell, so on. So they're alright. But yeah, quite amazing that all these PCs came, you know, the whole lot fit into my into my van. I mean, even my chickens are surprised. Isn't that an amazing pickup? Yeah, I know. But what I love about these IBM System 3200s is the shape. Probably the sun's sort of coming down now. But you see how they kind of like got that sort of angle to them? I really like them. I reckon they're quite cool. So I might even put a couple of these, see if I can work out the best ones and put them into my personal collection. I generally like to keep vintage IBM stuff, but you know, if I got the room, you know, I'd like to keep at least one of each, the Xeon and the best Pentium one that I can find. They're going to be great for scrapping anyway. You know, and that's what it's all about, really. It's all about getting everything recycled and keeping it all out of landfill. Yeah, but geez, how many did I say? 40, 14s. So 56 aces, 14 HPs. So that's 70 and one Lenovo. So 71 PCs. 8, 9, 11, 12 servers, a dozen laptops, 80 LCD monitors. The chickens didn't come with the pickup. They've been hanging around here for a while. Don't know what they're doing here. And whole wheelbarrow full of keyboards, so about 30 or 40 keyboards. So yeah. You know, it's amazing how the driveway has transformed in just one pickup. So I've obviously got to get onto these aces. Certainly want to get rid of them before New Year's. Don't want to be tripping over them after a few vinos. A whole heap of cable here, probably about, I don't know, 100 kilo. Box stuff still yet to go through, but yeah, it's just super amazing that, you know, looking at that, you'd say, oh, okay, you're going to need a truck because there's no way that would fit into a van. But sure enough, just in this little van. But yeah, awesome. So that's going to keep me busy for a couple of weeks, that's for sure. As long as I don't get any more bigger pickups like this. I should be able to get through it before New Year. Yeah, just super cool. So, you know, as far as other people, you know, scrappers wanting to accumulate, you know, e-waste for your own gold recovery, or even if you just enjoy recycling, you know, this is one of my, you know, favorite aspects of it. Sure, you know, you see me scrapping things out and looking at value of, you know, precious metal recovery value and stuff like that. But, you know, at the end of the day, once I remove all these valuable stuff out of there, you know, well, it's not really valuable, but once I get all the good stuff out, you know, this is going to send, you know, a lot of these towers are going to go to scrap metal and it's going to come back. You know, at least it keeps them out of landfill. You know, when I scrap out these monitors, you know, as you know, it's mostly just plastic and toxic materials. So, you know, it just gives me a sense of satisfaction that, you know, I'm keeping these out of landfill. And, you know, it's just great that there are people out there that are prepared, you know, that want to actually have their stuff recycled and not just throw them into dump master. Every time a laptop breaks down, they'll just throw it into a dump master, you know. So, you know, it's I appreciate the IT technicians and the small business owners that are, you know, at least hold the stuff until they can find a recycler that will come and pick it up for free. And, you know, like all these keyboards, you know, keyboards and mice, as we know, there's really no value there. It's just all plastic, but it needs we can't just send this to plastic recycling. We need to actually
open these up and separate the steel and stuff before we can send this. So, you know, recycling is not all about profit, and that's why a lot of recyclers don't pick up for free. They actually charge because, you know, because there's it's low money, and you know, stuff like this, you know, they just basically throw it out anyway because they're not getting any money out of it. But, you know, I'm prepared to sit there and spend time. Like this wheelbarrow worth of keyboards might take me 4 hours, and I'm not getting any money for that because, you know, as you know, all there is inside is just the keyboard mylars. They're worth nothing, and then the rest I need to still then send this off to a plastic recycler and get it processed, you know. And you can't sell plastic at the moment, so, you know, it's very time consuming. So I'll spend a whole day scrapping these out and then packing it all up and taking it to a plastic recycler. And if one will accept it, because they're making it harder these days, even dedicated plastic recyclers don't really want to take this kind of plastic anymore. So, you know, but still I managed to get it disposed of correctly. You know, it's not a matter of just throwing them in the bin. And yeah, and this is my little bit for the environment. So sure, I'm not going to make any money spending a day processing this, but, you know, it's a bit of a labour of love, and I just get satisfaction from it, from that plastic going. You know, it's going to come back as plastic again. You know, there's no reason for companies to produce new plastic. We've got enough plastic to recycle and turn it back into fresh plastic. So, yeah, well, I can't speak for any other recyclers. At least I know my conscience is clear that my plastic is going to get recycled. All these monitors, a lot of plastic, all that plastic is going to be recycled. You know, those screens, you know, they contain a little bit of mercury and, you know, whatever, probably cadmium. They will be recycled, and I'll get probably less than $1 value out of the monitors, much less. It's just a couple of circuit boards. But so yeah, so if you're you know, you're looking at trying to you know, make a good business out of recycling, you've got to kind of balance out between you know, most recyclers really, if you need, you know, if you're going to employ anyone, then you really got to start thinking about actually charging places to go and pick up. Probably not something like this pickup, because as you saw when I got there, it was already set out for me outside. You know, it saves a whole lot of time rather than dragging it out of classrooms and all that kind of thing. So, you know, but, you know, you'll go and pick up from offices, and you might go up to the 20th floor, up and down, and bring back about a half a dozen PCs and a whole heap of printers, and you know that there's no value in printers. So, you know, for a small business to survive, you kind of got to charge for those pickups, you know, because you're providing more than just a pickup service. You're actually, you know, removing it from their offices and taking it downstairs and taking it to your van or truck, which might be 2 or 3 streets away. In the city, it's very hard to get car parking all the time, so you're doing a lot of walking, and you might only pick up $30 worth of stuff, but it might have taken you 2.5 hours, as well as paying for car parking and all that kind of thing. So yeah, but if you offer a free pickup service, it's sort of like half and half. You're sort of self-employed, but at the same time you're kind of doing it because you've got another reason. It's a hobby, or it's, you know, you just love the idea of recycling or whatever it is. But yeah, and sometimes you do get pickups like this. I've had much bigger pickups like this than this, but you know, I've hired a truck, so the truck might cost me $120 for the day, just to be able to bring it all back. But yeah, just amazed that all this comes in, you know, that I can fit in one van, and I just can't believe, because as I was packing away these towers into the front of my van, the IT tech was wheeling out these monitors, and he was just packing them into the back. So I didn't even see how many he actually had. It wasn't until I was fully loaded that I saw my wheels that were right down to the ground, and I thought, wow, there must be quite a lot of monitors in there. and I was right. But yeah, really happy with these. Very surprised that there's 12 servers in just from one place. So awesome. I'm going to bring these inside. It's not going to rain, it's summer here, but just in case, I want to get these inside so I can at least have a look and be able to pick out one or two for myself. The rest of these all gets recycled, and yeah, awesome. All right guys, well, hope that was a little bit of fun for you. I thought I'd just throw this video in this morning. I thought, oh, I've got the camera here, I might as well just flick it on and show you what I was going to do for today. It certainly was unexpected to get all this. You know, I thought, oh yeah, we'll get there, and you know, you'll probably see 15 PCs and, you know, 15 monitors and keyboards and stuff, but no, it turned out really good, and I'm glad I brought the camera along to show you. Now I'm going to go back and at the back and have a look at my crucible again and just admire that for an hour, and then I'm going to have a shower and call it a day. All right guys, well, keep scrapping, have fun, and I'll catch you next time.